minute can open your eyes. One book can open your world. Knowledge gives you power. Read and rise higher. 9R Tree. Better life begins in a book.
Hello, I'm Sebastian. Welcome to 9R Tree's podcast. Today, I will summarize and review the book. The Boys in the Light is a riveting work of narrative nonfiction that follows a small band of Jewish boys as they fight to stay alive across the shattered landscape of World War II. Drawn from testimonies, letters, and archival records, the story moves from occupied towns and ghettos to forests, barns, convent attics, and the labyrinth of resistance routes that thread through a darkened continent. What sets this account apart is its unwavering focus on the lifelines that sustained them. Faith practiced in whispers, friendship forged under fire, and the stubborn human instinct to protect one another. With keen scene setting and a journalist's eye for telling detail, Nina Willner illuminates moments of peril and grace without sentimentality, allowing quiet acts of courage to carry the light. The result is an intimate, pulse-quickening chronicle of survival and moral conviction that honors the boys who refuse to let fear define them. I will give you key takeaways from this book. Firstly, the art of staying alive under occupation. From the first pages, the book details the boys' evolving survival playbook as Nazi occupation tightens its grip. They master the basics of evasion, learning patrol patterns, reading the land by sound and shadow, and splitting into pairs so that one can scout while the other hides. Hunger is a constant antagonist, so they barter small skills for bread, gut fish with found wire, and memorize which farms leave fodder uncovered after dusk. False papers and borrowed names buy hours, not safety, and the boys learn to move at the margins of crowds, never at the center. The narrative shows how chance and preparation interlock, how a button sewn in a different thread color or a regional accent can betray a life. Willner neither romanticizes nor sensationalizes. She shows the grind of endurance, the bargains made with fear, and the choices that must be remade each morning. Survival here is not one daring escape, but thousands of alert decisions strung together under relentless pressure. Secondly, faith as a portable homeland. Faith and ritual function as a portable homeland the boys carry even when every map has been erased. A candle stub guarded in a pocket, a psalm muttered in a storehouse, the rhythm of a prayer whispered in rotation, so no voice carries too far. These moments become anchors. The book traces how observance adapts under duress. Blessings spoken over potato peels, holidays marked by a sliver of song while sentries shift outside, arguments about law and mercy that end in a hard-won truce. Faith here is not naive optimism. It is discipline, memory, and moral compass, reminding the boys who they are when the world tries to unmake them. It binds them to families lost and to ancestors they may never meet. Most of all, it sharpens their sense of responsibility. To live is to keep the light for one another, to refuse the logic of hatred, and to act as if tomorrow is worth preparing for. Thirdly, brotherhood as strategy and shelter. Brotherhood in this book is both emotion and structure. The boys create a small society with rules, roles, and shared stores. Rations are pooled and redistributed according to need. Watches are kept by rotation, with older boys training the youngest in signals and silent drills. When someone falters, another carries the pack. When a member wants to take a reckless risk, the group debates, votes, and binds itself to the outcome. Willner captures the frictions that make their trust credible. Jealousy over a found coat, anger at a lie told to preserve pride, and the ache of unequal luck. The narrative insists that mutual aid is not charity, but strategy. Cooperation raises the odds for all, turning scattered children into a resilient unit that can absorb shocks. That solidarity becomes the seed of lifelong bonds. Years later, when the war recedes, the men still measure their choices against the covenant they forged as boys in the light. Fourthly, moral courage of rescuers and allies. Alongside the boys stand a constellation of rescuers whose quiet defiance nudges fate. A farm wife leaves a pail by a gate every third night. A station agent looks away while tickets are checked. A nun teaches new names, then drills the boys until the lies fit like second skins. Willner gives these helpers full human dimension. They are not saints carved in marble. They doubt, quarrel, misjudge, and yet act. The book explores why people help: faith, decency, loyalty to a neighbor, or a stubborn refusal to let cruelty be the last word. It also tallies the costs. Harboring fugitives can mean fines, prison, deportation, or worse, and the stress cracks marriages and friendships. By weaving these lives into the boys' journey, the narrative expands survival from a single arc to a network. Courage spreads by contact. Every small act creates a corridor of possibility through which the boys can move, one fragile step at a time. Lastly, aftermath, identity, and the work of memory. The war ends, but the story does not. The final chapters follow the boys into the unsettled years of liberation and rebuilding, when victory banners cannot silence absence. Displaced persons camps become staging grounds for new identities. Some seek relatives across continents, some choose new homelands, and some embrace silence as a shield. Willner attends to survivor guilt, to nightmares that seep into daylight, and to the way love can be both balm and trigger. Education, craft, and service become tools for remaking a shattered self. The book also traces the long arc of testimony: when to speak, what to keep private, and how to pass a hard inheritance without passing on despair. Memory is rendered as a living duty, not a static archive. By the end, readers see how the boys carry the light forward, raising families, mentoring others, and building institutions that embody the values that once saved their lives. In conclusion, this book belongs in the hands of readers who value true stories told with moral clarity and narrative drive. Fans of World War II history, educators, book clubs, faith communities, and anyone seeking proof that courage can multiply under pressure. It benefits a life because it offers models of resilience that are concrete and transferable. The boys do not rely on heroics. They practice habits of alertness, community, and meaning that any person can cultivate in hard times. Choose this book over others because it balances intimate storytelling with a panoramic view of the rescue networks and post-war realities, while avoiding sensationalism. Nina Willner writes with restraint that trusts the reader and honors the people at the center of the story. The result is both heartrending and strengthening, a narrative that lights a way through fear and shows how ordinary choices, repeated faithfully, can safeguard dignity in life. If you would like to support Nina Willner, you can buy the book through the Amazon link I've provided in the podcast description. After reading the book, please let me know what you think and share your thoughts. See you around.
1 minute can open your eyes. 1 book can open your world. Knowledge gives you power, read and rise high.